it looks the best on you. It's washing out everything behind you, but that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your background.
Right. Is it too bright on this side?
Gives you very film noir look, you know? There you go. You look like a professional podcaster now with a big mic in front of you, yeah, that's nice. Hey everybody, welcome to Tales Beyond the Trails. I'm Kris, your host. This is my co-host, Dan. On this podcast, this is our first episode. We're going to bring you a little bit of men's outdoor lifestyles in general. We're going to touch on a little bit of everything. Some of my background and passions, more hiking, off-roading, mountain climbing. Pretty big gym guy, kind of a health nut a little bit, as much as one can be. A little bit of stuff like that. Dan, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you do and what you bring to the table?
Well, I don't bring much to the table, just a pretty face. That's about all I got going for me. I don't really hike. I've done enough of that in the Marine Corps. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, did enough hiking there for a lifetime, I think. I do mostly overlanding, camping, that kind of thing, hanging out, just sitting around campfires and BSing with people like this guy mostly. And just telling stories, making memories, and having a good time is what I'm shooting for.
Exactly. And that's what we look to bring on this podcast, is some of those great stories and just that camaraderie of sitting around, talking, and just sharing, life
Experiences.
wisdom, things like that. So many times you have these great interactions with people and you're like, man, I wish, I could have recorded that or shared that or whatever. And that's what we're looking to bring here and what we're looking to do.
Yep, absolutely. Like I said, life experiences, because men's health and it's super important that we talk about stuff like that. Mental health for sure, especially
Absolutely.
coming from the veterans background that I have. I've lost several friends from suicide and that kind of thing. And so we want to talk about that as well and make it understood it's all right to talk to people, even if it's your buddy. If you got a problem, talk to somebody. Don't just bottle it up inside, because man, that stuff will eat you up.
Absolutely. For forever, it was taboo to talk about feelings and this and that. And it's great that today it's not. And it's even better when you get that circle of friends and everything that you feel like you can open up to and talk with and discuss, because like you said, it is super important to, I feel like our generation especially was always you just carry all that weight on your shoulders, and that's what you were supposed to do. Just bottle it all up inside, cram it all down, and that's what we were taught, and that's how we always did it. And then later in life, you learn, oh man, that's the absolute wrong way to do it. And I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people, where again, you sit around, you get that brotherhood, that camaraderie, and you feel like you can share stories and hear theirs and, get a lot of different interesting viewpoints on it.
That, and while you're sharing stories, you also realize you're not the only one that's gone through that or going through something that you feel isolated and alone, and you're the only one that's ever experienced this issue. And you're talking to, your buddy or somebody you just met at a campfire, and they're opening up and talking, and they're, giving you scenarios that, man, that's me. That's what I'm going through right now. So what'd you do? How'd you get through it? What are things I can expect, or, this, that, and another, for all kinds of different things.
Absolutely. So like I said, that's what this is about. That's what we're looking to do. It's not just that. We'll have off-roading, we'll have hiking, we shoot, we drink, we got a little bit of everything going on. Do what's that?
Smoke cigars. Can't
Smoke
beat
cigars, absolutely. So that's
but
kind of the slant we're going for, and we'll see where it takes us. Every week will be a different, kind of a different topic, and we'll just see what
guests. We're planning on having some guests on here.
Absolutely, some different guests from all walks of life. We've got Dan's got some really interesting industry people that we can bring on and talk to. I got some business owners, some corporate people that can talk about, a lot of that end of things. I've got some industry folks, different industries, whiskey industry, cigar industry, things like that.
Yeah.
Hiking, backpacking.
So we sat down, what was it, about 3-4 months ago, and brought this up.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. Sitting around a campfire.
We was talking, and I'm already on another podcast. It's a great podcast, and it's focused more on overlanding and camping and that kind of thing. But I want to deep dive when we have a guest on here about the guests themselves, not just the whatever product they sell or represent, or their channel they have. I want to deep dive in like where they got started, where they got their passions from, what got them where they're at, what was some of their hurdles to get where they're at, what sacrifices and things like that that they had to, you know, do. So that's
Yeah, exactly. Anytime you bring on a guest like that, a lot of times it's almost a commercial for the product, and everybody knows what the
right,
product is. There's videos out there on that. Let's get to know the people behind the product, or no, we don't even got to talk about their business, as it were. If that's not what they're, maybe they want to talk. Maybe they make a tire or something like that, but their passion's fishing, and that's what
right.
they want to get on and talk about. And that's the kind of a little more in depth that we want to go into.
Let you get to see the person, not
Absolutely.
the company.
And then, no, make no mistake, a lot of times we won't have anything to talk about and we'll just make fools of ourselves and ramble and everything else. That's where I come in. I'm good at talking.
So that's going to be like 98% of the show is just Kris talking.
There, hey, if it
Kris
works, it
talking
works.
about Kris.
Hey, I'm good at that. I'm not that interesting.
But
So what do you got going right now, Dan? I know Dan's been having a lot of vehicle problems, as it were. So you wanna
so I've been without my Jeep for just short of a month now. So I got it back today. It's the 4th. So yeah, turned it in on the 12th of last month. So just short of a month, I finally got it back. It was some electrical issues, and anybody owns a Jeep understands or has heard the horror stories. This guy I don't know. He's got a Ford. He's a Bronco guy. Not
I've
knocking it.
owned some Jeeps. I understand that it's just empty every pocket. It's either, but it bounces back and forth. It's accessories, fixing it. Accessory. It just depends how you're dealing out the money at
It's
the
like a
time.
boat, but on land.
Exactly right.
Bust out another 1,000. No,
Yes,
but
sir.
I went around. I give him a hard time about the Bronco, but I went around my upcoming video for my channel, the Crayon Brotherhood, is going to be me looking at a few other vehicles, and I did go look at some Broncos, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to try to front, even though it's him. I got in that thing, and it felt good. Like
They're
the
nice, man.
seat,
They drive well.
the
They ride
seat
well.
was super comfortable. Like I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is
I think they're bigger interior room. I'm pretty sure, aren't they?
probably. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't break out a measuring tape measure, but
Right. But I
it's
think I
bigger.
just know from sitting in them, it definitely feels like they're a
Yeah.
little more
And
spacious.
there's some things in that Bronco that Jeep really needs to step up their game, and I don't know if that copy is the right word, but mimic, something along
Well,
those
but
lines.
Jeep hasn't had any real competition in a long time, so they haven't had to innovate or push the envelope much, you
Yeah.
know?
One of my favorite features on that Bronco was it had, and it's simple, really simple. It had a 12-volt plug in the dash, 2 of them, with a quarter 20 screw already there for you to mount your GPS, your Onyx off-road device, or Gaia, if you're Gaia.
Yeah, if you looked, actually, it's only it's a 12 volt, and the other one's actually a USB and C.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, super handy. That's where
super.
I just installed Wolfbox Pro, actually, the little rear view camera mirror thing, and it's super handy for that. Plugging power in for that, and then I've got like a bullet point mounting system up there. So I'm plugging my phone and my GPS or my tablet for my GPS and all that stuff. So yeah, super handy feature that you don't think much about it. It seems silly. Oh, a USB in the dash up on top of the dash, but there's so many accessories anymore that people use that.
And probably for, I'd say, what, 60% of people that drive the Broncos probably won't use that.
No, I mean, again, just standard, dash cam type of things. I think in today's society, you almost got to run a dash cam anymore with the idiot drivers. And I know a lot of cities and stuff don't, police don't actually even respond to accidents and things anymore. I know here where I live, you actually go to Quick Trip and get a accident report and fill it out there. Yeah, no, police will not respond to accidents anymore.
What the heck?
Yeah, you got to
I
go to.
was in an accident, the 14th of last month. I would have been in my Jeep, but ended up taking my son to MEPS with my mom's car, and a guy was running down the interstate, turned into us, just come right
Really?
over, bam. And so we called, and they showed up. He was wanting to just. I say he was wanting. He was. It scared him to death. He freaked out. I wouldn't say freaked out. It upset him, and it was nothing major at all. It's just young guy in a work vehicle, so I'm sure he was worried about his
Oh
job
yeah.
and everything else. But I didn't know if they was going to try to just say, "Hey, let's exchange information and buzz off." No, no, no. We're getting the cops here and getting official paperwork and whole 9 yards. So
Yeah, that's I mean, that's again, that's how we were taught, but here in the city, they don't respond to fender benders and stuff anymore, and so, yeah, you actually go to the Quick Trip and get a accident report and fill it out yourself, so I've got dash cams in all my vehicles and my kids' vehicles and stuff like that because it's just your word against theirs at that
yeah,
point, and
I've never
so
heard that, man. That be honest, I've
yeah,
never heard that. We,
it's
here in the Texarkana area where I'm at, that's most of their calls are accidents because people here can't drive. I don't know what it is in the water,
people
but
can't drive here either, I guess, they've either
I
got better stuff to do, we're
this is
on
why people can't drive right here.
oh, 100%, yeah, they got their heads in their phone and not paying attention to the
Yep,
road.
100%. They're like, "Oh, it's just a quick mile down the road. I'm good. I can sit here
Yeah.
and."
Oh, yeah. While they're driving, I get every stoplight every day. I'm having to honk at the people in front of me, because they're sitting there on the red light playing on their phone and not paying attention. I'm like, man, it's a
So it's wild. You've been to California, I'm sure,
absolutely.
out in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Running up and down the interstate out there in the morning or evening traffic is wild because you'll see women running down the road, and I say women because it's a makeup thing.
Putting on their makeup in the mirror.
Man, I mean, just
80 miles an hour
75
down the freeway,
hour,
bud.
just giving it everything.
Yeah.
You look over there and she's got, it looks like a full showroom in there of mirrors and lights and just doing her.
What is
What
that?
are
That's the
you doing?
105 or whatever, the 50, whatever that major highway, 8 lanes wide, all this, 80 miles an hour. And yeah, I've literally seen that. It's crazy.
Yeah, just
That's just how people drive these days.
yeah. Me coming from the country when I got out there, that was my first real big city ever spending time in. And dude, it was wild
Yeah. It's an interesting town for sure.
for sure. Not for me. I mean, some people enjoy it, but it's not for me.
Enjoy Northern California just for the scenery and stuff. You get up into the redwoods and things like that. North of San Francisco, you get on the big cliffs on the beaches, the giant rocks with the waves breaking up on them, and then you get in the redwood forest and all that good stuff. That's awesome to see and visit. I don't think I'd want to live there personally.
So I got to deliver a load up there one time, and I'd never been to Northern California. I've always, San Diego, Los Angeles, that area. And so I had this mental, I guess, block that the whole state was like that. And I got to deliver up north California. And dude, it's a whole different country up there, whole
Absolutely.
different state. Like they need to split that state in half, probably just
Well,
north
they
of
kind
San
of have.
Francisco. Yeah.
All the rich people live over on the beach and stuff like that, and then you got the valley, which is all farms and all that, and then to the east of there, it either desert if you're in the south, or if you're up north, that's where you get into the big mountains and the big sequoias and stuff like that. Some of the best hiking in the country that I've ever done is up in that area: Kings Canyon, Yosemite, Tahoe. That's just some of my absolute favorite places I've ever been for sure.
There's a mountain there somewhere. I don't remember the name of it. We climbed it because it was shorter to go over than it was around to deliver. And at the bottom of the mountain, when we started up, it was like 45, 50 degrees. I mean, it was cold, but it wasn't that cold. By the time we got to the top of that thing, it was like 28 degrees and just snowing its
Oh
tail
yeah,
off.
absolutely.
And then when you come off the backside, it was 45
Back
degrees
to
again.
yeah, back to normalish temperatures. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird to me, again, country, Arkansas my whole life, never seen anything like that. And then two different temperatures that vast in a day.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I remember. I travel a lot for a living now, but same thing. I didn't used to. Small town, country, middle of nowhere, Kansas area. One of the first times I traveled, I was in Colorado Springs and woke up that morning. We're actually just north of there. I don't remember the town exactly, but woke up that morning. It was 28 degrees. And I was headed to Las Cruces, New Mexico, right on a New Mexico-Texas border, just west of El Paso. Wound up in Las Cruces that day, and it was 116. And so I went from 28 degrees that morning to 116 that afternoon. And just it's not even that far on the map, really. I mean, it's actually like a 12-hour drive, maybe, or something like that. I don't recall. But just to have that temperature range and everything is crazy. And like you said, bottom of a mountain to a top or something like that is very extreme sometimes. And
Yeah, that your body, man, I couldn't imagine going from that cold to that hot that quick. Well, I say that, and it snowed in '06. We got snow in Iraq.
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. We were like, what is this?
I'm I'm sure they were too.
It snows there. I mean, every great once in a while, but you'd freeze to death at night in Iraq. People don't think
Right,
about that.
deserts get cold overnight, that's what people don't
Oh,
realize, the sand doesn't hold heat at all.
uh-uh. As soon as the sun goes down, it starts cooling off quick.
Real quick. I've done, a fair amount of desert hiking in, like, Arizona and Southern California and stuff, and, yeah, you'll be burning up during the day, but, that sun drops, and again, the sand just doesn't retain heat, it reflects it, so you'll bake, but at night, man, it drops quick.
That was again, never that stuff you just don't
Yeah,
think
just
about.
yeah, just different things you don't expect, you don't think about until you get to get out there and do it and experience it.
Yep, for sure. So what's next on your agenda, sir? What's the next big thing?
I don't know, man. We just bought a new little square drop trailer and I've kind of been messing around with it. We've done one event with it. We did a event for our group that we're all part of called Whiskey Waypoints here recently, got it out and did that. So I'm just kind of working on finishing it up for the winter. Getting the diesel heater on it, little things like that. But really nothing too exciting. We're trying to plan a Moab trip in March, last week of March, first week of April. Me and my wife enjoy national parks a good deal, so probably go out to Zion for 4 or 5 days, do the national park thing, and then bounce over to Moab and do some off roading there. But I don't really have anything on the immediate schedule. It's tough to plan anything here in the winter. We might be sleety, icy. We don't get pretty winters I'm in northeast Oklahoma, so I typically run over the Ozarks and the Ouachitas and whatnot, and we don't get those pretty winters. We get the snowy, sleety, ugly, muddy, horrible.
Well, last year the Ozarks when the first 2 or 3 days probably when it snowed, it was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, when we do get an actual snow, it's beautiful, but it's just
But
what do you get, one a year, maybe,
yeah,
and the next day it's mud, and then the next
yeah,
day it might be 80.
yeah. That's how it went. The first 2 days, 3 days up there was gorgeous, and then I went back up there the next week, and it was just like you said, it was just white, dirty snow. I mean, it's yeah. The trees, aerial, a drone footage in the
I
air is
bet.
still pretty nice, but on the ground, that white blanket is just yeah, it's not near as pretty because we don't like you say we don't get the snowfall that that the northern states get.
No. So nothing really solid plans. Try to run away just on a decent weekend day, or maybe, if the forecast shows it'll be a nice weekend, we might run to the Ozarks and just do a little quick weekend getaway. But I know we got a Frosty Fenders in Oklahoma coming up that we're looking at doing in an area it's called like Red Rock Canyon or something. It's over on the Wichita Mountains. We're looking at doing that. And I believe our group has a Frosty Fenders coming up, maybe late February, date TBD, I believe, on that. So we'll do a couple of those. Um, I think we're looking more next year. We did a lot of big events this year. I think next year we're looking at more. We'll do one or two, but I think we want to try to get smaller groups put together and just run away for the weekend, not have to pay $200 to go camp. Basically, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Do a little more off road and a little more hanging with the group of people you're going to hang with at these events anyway. We've got kind of a smaller circle. The big circle is great too. Getting to talk to everybody's great as well, but also just sitting around in the evening, we tend to gravitate to the same people. So just getting that group of people and running away and doing kind of smaller deals is, I think, what we're going to focus on more next year.
so the whiskey and waypoints that we did that worked out. I mean, that was about perfect. There might have been a few too many, but I think we ended up. I think right around 190 something people showed up, and man, that was about perfect. But we at that event, we were so spread out. Everybody had their own clique. So, like you said, we'd come together at night around the campfire. We'd have a big circle around the campfire, but through the day, kind of
It
people
wasn't
do
too
their
bad.
own thing.
No.
No, no, not bad at all. I plan on hitting up more and obviously Overland of America. But
Yeah, we're looking at more right now, and then Jasper Jeep Jam.
yeah, I forgot about
Uh,
Jasper. I'll be at
yeah,
Jasper.
just kind of. I think we'll do more in Jasper in the spring for sure, and then we'll at fall we'll definitely hit Overland of America. And I'm sure there'll be another event, but we might try to keep it to like 4 big events this year, and then just try to get smaller groups. Hey man, you want to go out this weekend? We'll all meet up. As an example, maybe me, you, Jesse, Shelley, those types of people. Pick somewhere kind of equidistant for all 3 of us, and just go meet up out in the woods and do some wheeling and hanging, and not
Yeah.
have to pay those entry fees.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Rito again, but I will probably camp off site and do a day pass and you go in, check everything out, film, and then go camp again. Because the it was just I don't know, there was just not a lot there this year.
Yeah, I've never been to Rito, so
It My first year there, it was fantastic, but this last year, I didn't go the year before, but this last year, it was kinda dead. It really wasn't worth the money to camp when you're already in the Ozarks. If they had it somewhere else where you weren't in the Ozarks, absolutely. Like Moore, there's not a lot of camping around Moore.
right.
So staying there is
We were
worth it.
debating more this year though, even because, last year it was great because I was just getting into overlanding, and so Moore is one of the largest expos in our area, so it was great to go and see all the vendors and shop, if you will. Man, there had to be what, 300 rigs there in the
Oh,
campground,
yeah.
probably at least.
Oh,
And so
that
not
was
only
just our
shopping in
campground, yeah.
the, yeah, not only shopping in the vendor areas and at the expo itself, but shopping just in the campground, walking around and checking out everybody's rigs and all that. And so that's what I really loved about more last year. And now our build's done. Everybody always gets to the point where their build, yeah, exactly. Your build's never done, but we're like, oh, there's nothing we need it more. So we kind of were debating, do you go? Because it is a parking lot. You are camping in a parking lot for all intents and purposes. And you're crammed in like sardines, but it's a great time. And again, if you're looking for anything to buy, to compare things side by side, I mean, it's a huge expo. They've got great, it's a great event for sure.
For you that have never been to the expos like Moore, it's kind of like SEMA, but for overlanding, for camping.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the companies come out there and bring their new products out and have them on display, and usually have really good prices on everything too. For the show, 20 some odd percent off or more, and it's a great time. And you meet people like this guy, and I've met a bunch of people at these events, and so that aspect of it is kind of worth it to me. So, and
I agree.
uh, I go for a little bit different reasons than him. I shoot content with my channel, so I go there to film, and show everybody that couldn't make it what they had. But after hours, after the filming's done, we sat around and have a good time around the campfire. That's some of the reason. This was actually at Moore when we started
That was
talking
it
about
more.
doing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hashtag pay Kyle.
Hashtag pay Kyle. So yeah, hashtag where smart starts.
Yeah, yeah. Our
That's the
friend
stuff.
Kyle, got dang good.
Man,
I
I'm sure we're
don't
gonna have
remember
Kyle on
exactly
next.
how the whole conversation was going, but Kyle's like, "You're not dumb, Dan. You're just where smart starts." And it just,
Just just what do you say? I mean, honestly,
there was no comeback for that.
yeah, I just so now I'm working on having shirts made where hashtag where smart starts, hashtag pay Kyle, that kind of stuff. Kyle's a good friend of ours. We'll probably end up having him on the show too. He is a really cool guy. He's got a great story to tell, and got a really cool Jeep that works, unlike some of us. Uh,
Yeah.
so
And that is the good part of these events and things. And if you've never been to them and you don't know people, you don't have the group of friends or anything, don't be afraid to go out and just attend them. That's literally how I met all these people. Is I didn't know them. I'm not from Arkansas where their group is centered and things like that. And I saw an event they were hosting, and it was Bourbon on the Buffalo. And I literally just showed up to the event, didn't know a soul, and everybody welcomed me in. I parked next to Dan and his buddy, uh,
Stephen Westfall.
yeah, it was Stephen Westfall, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, dude, just from the minute I pulled in, we were talking. They were everybody treated me great. I was really kind of honestly nervous about it. So don't be afraid to attend any of these events and just strike up conversations with people. Like I said, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have met some of my better friends I have today in the overlanding world, and in just my current circle of friends. It's kind of the same thing. You just uh, again, as we were discussing earlier, it's so hard, I think, anymore to meet friends and to make friends. You get so caught up in life, work, kids, everything else. You're like, how do I even make and meet friends? And I think a lot of it's just not being afraid. It's silly, but it feels like high school, right? You're like, I want people like me, but you're scared to talk to them and etc. Just strike up conversations with them, man. If you're at a place where you see them often and things like that, or you're at this event, well, you guys obviously have a common ground and a common interest. So just start discussing that. I've met some of my better friends at the gym or at an off-road event or honestly at a liquor store because I'm kind of into whiskey and all, and you obviously have this common interest. So just start talking to people because most of them are the same way. They're looking for friendship and camaraderie and they don't know how to make it. It's I don't know.
Yeah, after high school, after college, or the military, whatever road you chose, it is outside of work and your kids' events. You don't have a lot of opportunity to meet folks like minded and enjoying the same things you do.
Right.
So these events are great for that. And shameless plug here for Overland of America. I prefer that one. More is fantastic for going to buy things, to see innovative equipment. Not saying Overland of America doesn't do that. They do. They do offer all that, but they also offer big, what would you call it? In events like the Barbie Downhill Entertainment. They offer a
Right.
lot of
The
entertainment.
shooting range,
The shooting range. They had
Silencer Co.
Silencer Co. there last year, letting people come out and shoot suppressed weapons that most Americans don't get to do that. And
The saving grace of Overland America, the lazy river,
the
because
lazy, it was hot this September. I
buddy,
mean, hot. And the
into
lazy
September
river,
and it was like 106 degrees. Like it shouldn't have been that hot, but it was because Oklahoma.
yeah,
And
they
yeah, thank goodness for that lazy river.
two pools, and a lazy river. What else is they got a splash pad for the kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cabins with
Food truck
AC.
vendors, most of the normal
Yeah,
vendors that you'd find at more and other places anyway, a little bit smaller, but not too bad. It was a great event.
they
All the
do.
normal classes you'd have.
They do really good at entertainment.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and they have trails on site, so you don't
Yep.
have to go off and run trails. And
Well, you got to be careful with those trails. I heard the guy that designed those trails, a little bit of a loose cannon, if you will. I watched like a 28-degree drop in, and an immediate transition to like 20 something degrees straight up. I heard you'll rip your rear bumper off,
man,
things
that's
like
all
that.
speculation. There's no proof in any of
I
that.
think there
I
actually is
know the
video
guy
proof of that.
personally, and he wouldn't ever
Dropped again.
dropped again.
He gone.
There we are.
Hey, there you
There
are.
it is. Yeah, I know that guy personally, and he would never ever do anything like that. I can't see him ever doing anything like that.
Yeah, I know.
I
It
don't I
sounds
don't
like
know what you're
tall tale for sure, but
absolutely, that is slander and lies.
yeah, so all that stuff on site. So that is absolutely a great event. It's if you can only do like one big event a year, I'd say that would probably be the one to check out because you do have a little bit all of it. There's no trail riding at Moore. There is trail riding at Rito, but again, I
There's
haven't been
trail
to
riding
Rito,
at
so I don't have anything to compare it to.
there's trail riding at Moore. You go to the what is it? The
Well, S'more,
S'more. Yeah. S'more.
Southwest Missouri Off Road Park. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's if you're into off-road parks, that is a fantastic park to go play at. Uh, but Overland of America, and again, I'm biased. I know those
absolutely.
guys and hang out with them all the time, and they have everything you would want on site.
Well, and
Uh,
again, kind of like our podcast, it's that whole scope. It's not just overlanding. Again, they have gun stuff, have outdoor cooking stuff. There was a lot more, not just overland outdoor cooking. Hey, well, there's that hypothetical bumper pull rip off. Wait, that says Crayon Brotherhood. That looks like your. It look like your Jeep, sir.
now, that's just a lookalike. I got a fan out there.
So yeah, that might be the bumper ripping off part, but that's the great thing about Overland America is just that wider scope. There's a lot more stuff than just Overland focus there. I think more is definitely pretty much. I don't want to say all Overland, but 99%. Where I do think Overland America's got again kind of that wider net.
Yeah, they are definitely more focused on the vendor side and new products and that kind of thing. And Overland of America is more of an entertaining.
Yeah,
They are
entertainment,
growing.
just outdoory. Yeah, and
They've only been around. They've only done it for 2 years now, and they've grown leaps and bounds in those 2 years just for the vendor side. If you want to come just for vendors, they'll have plenty of vendors. And shooting range. That shooting range last year, like he said, was really cool. They had what was it, Umarex, and they were air rifles. I forget
right,
the
less lethal,
calibers.
I believe, is there. Yeah.
And then they have the non-lethal self-defense weapons there that shot the little CS paintballs or some kind of little paintball.
Yeah, and I think they also have like a pepper pellet or something as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, pepper
It's kind of
pellet.
a
That's
neat.
what it was, pepper not CS. We got CS. Never mind.
Right.
Not pepper the pepper pellets. Yep, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Uh,
a little range for that. Like you said, had the Silence Co range. They had a little air conditioned Sprinter van that run you down to that. Um, I don't know where I saw a few people out there on like the side by side trails and stuff. I don't know if that stuff was actually open if you were supposed to be doing that or not, but I mean they did have
yeah.
some.
Yeah, there was a few of the side by side trails open for the people that I mean, they had to come in and buy a full ticket like everybody else if they wanted
Right.
to run the trails there, side by side
Yeah.
trails. But it's a great event. It's just a
Absolutely.
different event. If you're just going just strictly to go look at the newest gear and then go back to your campsite or go home, more would probably be
Or
more. But
yeah.
if you want to go have a good time, and not to say you can't have a good time at more, because we always do. We
Yeah,
always have
absolutely.
a great time
Yeah.
at more. But the Overland of America is more built
And again,
for
you can
the
do 'em both.
family.
Moore's in the spring, Overland America's in the fall. So, not conflicting, far enough apart that, it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. Maybe
And
some
they're
new
not
gears
terribly far
out or
apart. Jay,
yeah,
Oklahoma and
Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Yeah. Not terribly far apart. So if you live in that area and want to make the drive, they're both fantastic events.
Yeah.
So,
So
uh,
you asked me, you got anything planned or coming up or anything at all? I mean, I know you're dealing with truck problems, so that makes it really
so
tough to
circling back to my Jeep and Jeep issues, uh, right now I'm planning on pulling my gear off and trading it in. I've had enough issues with this Jeep that I'm ready to go on to something else. That's why I was in the Bronco. I'm not ruling out a Bronco. I'm not ruling out a Toyota. I'm not ruling out another Jeep. It's whatever I can find that fits my needs and everything. And right now, outside of the reliability, Jeep is checks all the boxes for me. It rides well enough, it's comfortable enough, it does everything I need it to do when it works. And again, I could just have a bad Jeep. Like, it
yeah.
happens. Like, you know, they,
Everybody makes a yeah, that's it.
they
That's
make
why
hundreds of
recalls.
thousands of
Yeah.
these things. Stuff happens. I get it.
Somebody like you built one on the assembly line and
Yep. It was probably a Monday Jeep. I haven't went back and looked at the date, but it was probably a Monday Jeep because we got people like Kyle, was got 100,000 miles on his, and I think all he's had to do was change like what was it, his alternator, something simple, a couple of
Right.
batteries, you know,
Yeah.
and he wheels the heck out of that Jeep just as
Right,
much as
and
I
I
do.
honestly think for your use case, because I think you wheel a little harder. I think the solid axle and everything of the Jeep's probably the way you should go. I think you would run into a lot of issues with the IFS on like the Toyota or the Fords or something. Not issues per se, but again, I think you like to wheel a little harder than I do and things like that. So I think you would find that more limiting. I think the Jeep makes the most sense for sure.
Yeah. And the new Toyotas, I went and looked at it. It just did not fit my fancy. I did not like it. I just
Did you do a Tundra or Tacoma?
a Tacoma looked at
Yeah,
the new.
man, I rented one because I really, really wanted a Tacoma at one point, and so I rented one, a while back just to play around with it, whatever, and, I didn't like it either, man. It seemed kinda gutless, honestly. I had the little turbo version, I think. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure. I had the
the new
TRD Off-Road
ones
Pro.
are, what do they call it, where it's gas and electric. All the new ones are both
Oh, right, yeah.
hybrid. They're
Yeah, the
all
hybrid,
hybrid.
yeah.
But they did have, now I won't rule this one out. Spoiler alert, I won't get the 25 or 26 Tacoma. Spoiler alert. But they had a 21 or 22 TRD Pro there. That thing was
Mhm.
sharp. It still
Yeah,
had
no,
the good engine
they
on it.
look amazing, and the nice thing is that, they have the aftermarket support. They're kind of that happy medium between that's what the Bronco is lacking,
Yep.
is
Agreed.
the aftermarket support. I've got a built Bronco, and if you ever find another built Bronco, you have the same roof rack, you have the same seat delete, you have the same everything because there's just not a lot of options out there where Jeep, I think you could build an entire Jeep off of Amazon if you wanted to,
Yeah,
from the ground up, and
you could
Toyota's kind of that
replace
happy medium.
on a Jeep, you could replace every part on it with a different company.
Absolutely. Well,
You
and the
wouldn't
nice
have to
thing is
repeat
when
companies.
if you're out in the woods and
You
you
could
break
buy
something,
parts. Yeah,
everybody that drives by you, 90% of them are gonna be in a Jeep. Somebody's got,
something. Yeah,
what you're looking for most likely
yeah,
or knows where to get it.
yep. Or has one in their backyard, or hell, one with them.
Yeah, but I love how the Toyotas look, and they were definitely on my short list, but, same thing, once I rented it and drove it, it's just small inside for me. It felt kinda cramped. I didn't really particularly like the layout of stuff. It kinda felt a little gutless. I really wanted to Tacoma, but after having rented one and drove one for a while, if
Yeah.
I
I
did
I don't
something different again, it'd probably be a Jeep.
I don't know. My goal, and it's from day one, my goal was to get a 392. So that's still my goal. I do I've downscaled a lot on my Jeep. Get when I first got into it, I bought everything you can imagine to go on these trips, and then I realized it was just dead weight. I wasn't using it, so I started downscaling, and now I've got it to where I've got very outside of camera gear. I don't have a lot of stuff,
Right, now.
so going to a Wrangler will be tough for my cooking equipment because I use a full size Blackstone, uh, and for my refrigerator because I got a big fridge. Outside of that, I think I could get into a Wrangler and make it work. But,
Yeah,
uh, next year, they still haven't released when next year. They're supposed to be coming out with either a 392 Gladiator or a 5.7
7.
Gladiator. They haven't said which one or exactly what day it's gonna be released, but they are saying one of those are coming next year in '26. So I'm kind of just come on and release it so I know what I'm gonna have to pay, if it's in my price range, or if I need to go on and buy something else.
Yeah. No, that's, yeah, it'd be and that's what stinks is the waiting and the not knowing. Because, like, again, I'm going out to Moab. Like, you'd be more than welcome to come out and join us out there, obviously, but man, you can't even plan it with your current vehicle.
No, I don't
Oh,
trust
and
it.
you'd hate to pull the trigger on a used one or on something different or whatever, and then 2 months later, they announce the 5.7 for a price that you're happy with. You're like, "Oh, man, if I just
Yep.
drug my
I'd have
feet
just
a little bit
waited a
more."
little bit long, yeah.
Yeah,
Because ultimately, the Gladiator, when they're fixed up, I love it. I love how my
absolutely.
Gladiator looks. It looks mean, looks tough. I love how it looks. A stock Gladiator, I won't even take a second look
Horrible.
at. But just
Yeah.
getting my Gladiator today, I've taken probably 4 photos of it just today, just because I like how it
Great looking
looks.
rig, man. Yeah.
It
If
looks
like
fantastic.
I said, I've always been a Jeep guy. Previous to the Bronco, I had several Jeeps. I've had CJs, I've had TJs, JKs. I've never had the new JTs or JLs, but if I didn't have the Bronco, I'd do a Gladiator in a heartbeat. Again, it's a reliable, platform, but it's a known platform that tons of aftermarket support. And being in the Bronco, I miss the truck bed. There's a lot of things, yeah, just silly things like my my little fire pit gets dirty and this or that, or your rug's muddy, or just throw it in the bed of the truck. Well, I don't have a truck bed, so everything's got to go. Now I have a seat delete in my Bronco, so it's not a big deal. But I do miss that truck bed. It does give you a lot of options that I feel like I won't say missing, but that's what I keep telling you. If you were to go to that Wrangler, which same size as the Bronco and stuff, like you'll miss that truck bed a little bit.
Well, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
It, but you might enjoy that shorter wheelbase and things like that too. You might enjoy being able to actually turn around on the trail.
They both do have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. For overlanding, your base, person going out there, the Gladiator is a no-brainer. It really is.
Right. Well,
For
that's it. Is it
hardcore rock
overlanding,
crawling
off-roading, two different kind of,
the Wrangler is the way to go. Uh, but for like the middle ground, again, I'd go back to the Gladiator. I really would.
yeah, if you're
Uh,
gonna do hardcore rock crawling, you better just buy an old JK or old TJ or
yeah,
something,
and build it.
CJ.
Yeah.
Just build up. Yeah.
Well, I loosely say hardcore rock crawling.
Right, right. Not hardcore. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. They don't, but I
Yeah, I
knew
ain't
what you
talking
were
about full
referring.
bouncer or anything, but I'm
No, no, no. But you're definitely you're not quite a full sending guy, but I've watched you wheel enough to know that you're not afraid of it for sure.
yeah, no. I mean, like, meh, I think it'll do it. Come to find out, sometimes it will not do it,
Yeah.
and that gets sketchy. That makes good stories though. Those stories we were talking
Yeah,
about
no,
earlier.
what were you on the side? Like, you were literally almost had it over on a side when you were building that trail out there at Overland America or
Yeah,
whatever.
and then I took Chris Carroll down it, and that's when my Jeep started having problems. And it's a climb out, and you're going turning up the hill as you're going up it. I mean, you're rolling over. Well, I made it about 3/4 of the way up, and it just wouldn't go. It just would not make that last little bit. It's all that shell rock or shelf rock, whatever they call it. And I would just spin it. There was nothing. I mean, so I had to work my way back down. Well, when you get back down, you got to make that turn. And I done dug it out a little bit. So there was no, oh man, it was rough. It was rough. That was a little sketchy. Kris was a little nervous.
You had to go get something to get you out, didn't you? I think, or was that something that was somewhere else? Okay.
Yeah. So Kyle had to pull me out last winter, and that was that event. No, that was not that event you come to. That was Whiskey and Waypoints, the first one. Yeah, Kyle had to pull me out because we had all that ice out on the trail, and in all my infinite wisdom, I didn't think about the ice. I was going over it and it was breaking it. That's not a problem. You you're good there. What happens is when the ice gets above the breakover point in your tire, and you can't
Mhm.
get on top of it to break it,
Right.
and you're just pushing. And so you're just spinning yeah, you just can't go nowhere. And then you go to back out and all the big chunks of ice. It was
Ice everywhere. Yeah.
3.5, 4 inch thick ice
Jeez.
wads up under your rear diff as you're backing up. And so now you're spinning backwards. So I had to hang my head and have Kyle pull me out. But that's the only time. Yeah, that's the only time I've been winched.
Yeah.
And and it was Kyle of all where smart starts.
Yeah. There
Uh
you go.
had to do it. Again, not
You,
dumb, just where smart starts.
I can't remember. Do you have a winch on yours or no?
Yeah, I got to win.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Yep. It's a rough country wrench and the rough
Yeah.
country front bumper.
Yeah. I got a rough country winch. Fine.
It works great. I've pulled I think it was Bats off road. Then the snow apocalypse we had, as we called it. We had like 3 inches of snow in like a week, so we call it a snow
Oh, yeah.
apocalypse. Anyway, it was
Yeah.
that Baker trip I went on, and we had enough snow, and then after we drove on it, we made a couple trips up and down that road. It packs, and now you're on ice, and it was a little bit of a grade, so he started sliding, and it was a hell of a decline there on the edge, and he got it stopped just on the edge. His back tire was kind of coming up a little bit. We got it stopped, so we had to like tie off to a tree, and pull him sideways back up on the road, which that was a fun recovery, and that was a good time though. I mean, we had a blast doing that. I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he was worried about his Jeep getting rolled over, but he it all worked out. Go to Baker Overland. There's some videos of it there on mine. I've got some videos of the recovery too. It was a fun time, fun trip. I enjoy the ice and snow.
Well, I like winter. I haven't done a lot of winter off roading yet, but again, going back to like my hiking and stuff, off leaf season, just always my favorite because you can see so much more, especially in the Ozarks and stuff where you've got great rock formation. Just as you're driving or hiking or whatever along, seeing some of the mountains and the rocky shelves and just all that stuff up there. You can see so much more in the winter, and it's beautiful.
Well, keep an eye out on the weather, because if it snows, I drop everything and I go.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right. Well, you don't have a vehicle right now, so
Yeah, I do. I got it back today. I got it back this morning.
how will it make it there? That's
Well,
we'll find
it'll
out.
live in the Ozarks if it doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, well, like I said, I'm ready to get out, man. I've been itching, looking for something to do.
No, but circling back, yeah, that's my plan, is to get something different. Honestly, it's I love the Gladiator. I just don't trust that Gladiator. It's done let me down too many times. I was just backing out of a parking lot, and it threw 104 codes and just locked the Jeep down. Couldn't do nothing with it till it decided it was ready to do something. And dude, if I'd have been out in the middle of nowhere and that happened, that would just,
Yeah,
yeah,
you were supposed to be headed to Wyoming.
yeah, yeah. And
You
not to
know, so
mention the money that I've lost because of that Jeep. So uh and videos I've lost, or
right. That's it. Again, like
opportunities.
you just said, like you're like, let's go out, next weekend if it snowed. And you could very well go hop in it and it does the same thing again. And now you're, again, you just lost that content. You lost the, what you do for enjoyment and everything else. And
Yep. So that's where we're at on my Jeep at the moment, is trying to find something different. And here's the kicker. This is the icing on the cake that surprised me. Even my wife missed, no, you don't need that, you don't need this, you don't need that. Was like, hey, you need to get something different. I'm like, so this is you giving me permission? She's like,
permission, yeah.
find something else that you want, because you can't keep doing this. I'm like, yes.
Like,
Score for this guy.
like a kid in a candy store. It's like when you were young and you used to buy the auto traders and stuff and just flip through them and daydream, and you're doing that on the internet now and
Yeah. I got the
with
wife's
permission.
permission. Yeah. They always say it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, but when you get permission
Hey,
first,
when you get it in advance,
it's
hey, you're
it's
good to
that's
go right
that's where
there.
it's at right there. Come home with a Hellcat Jeep, she'll be like, "What the heck?" I'll be, "Hey, you said get something else." But no, yeah, that's where I'm standing on everything. So, what get back on the more personal stuff that we were trying to point into. What got you into the overlanding? Or actually, let's go back further than that. What got you into the hiking? I know you're real big into hiking.
All right, so on the hiking front, I just love the outdoors. I love being outside. It's where I go to just get away from everything else, man. Release, find my inner happiness, all that stuff. Um, I'm trying to remember when I got into it, man. It's been a long time now, at least 10 plus years or 10ish years. But just started hiking, especially in the Ozarks and stuff. Some of the trails there started off doing little 1 day, 2 day stuff. And as you get into it, get used to it, man, it just wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted more. Started doing the bigger trails, the Ozark Highland Trail, the Ouachita Trail. Those are Highlands is 188 miles. National Trails 212 miles. Done both of those multiple times, and then just getting a man and just seeing that beauty out there. It's amazing. It's great, for you riding around, sitting in your car and everything. But when you're out there and you're walking in it, there's so many waterfalls and just nature, animals, rock formations, it's just peaceful, man. It's zen for me. It's really a great release. And then I travel the country for work, and then so I started doing the same thing for hiking sections of the Appalachian Trail, the PCT, done the Tahoe Rim Trail, as you just some of the most beautiful areas of our country, you can imagine. I've got to walk and see, and you learn a lot about yourself and just everything else out there is why I really got into it. And how that transitioned into overlanding is my wife and my best friend both like the outdoors. My best friend does for sure. My wife is coming around on it, but they're definitely not into the hiking. They're not into I do 25, 30 mile days, things like that, 200-mile trails. That's not them. And so my buddy got into the overlanding, which I call hiking by car, you know, and he really got into that. And I'm like, well, maybe this would be the happy medium for me and my wife to get out and enjoy it a little bit. So at the time, we actually had a little Subaru Forester, and we did a few little glorified dirt road things. I put a little baby puck lift on it and some all-terrain tires and a rack on top, to look cool. But we did a few things. It was fun, man. We've always kind of enjoyed camping. We have a big camper. She's more into glamping. So
Trying to find a happy medium between the two.
absolutely, yeah, just to find something that she enjoys and I enjoy as well. And so, yeah, I was getting rid of that Subaru anyway because it wound up to where I was driving that as my daily, and I didn't need it or want it. So I was going to go get another Jeep. Like I said, I own several Jeeps. I've always been a Jeep guy. And my wife hates them. She's like, "Oh man, they're rough. They're hot when it's hot. They're cold when it's cold. They're loud. They're blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "You're not wrong, but I love Jeeps." And we were driving back from dinner somewhere. We passed a couple of Broncos, and she's like, "Ooh, I do like the new Broncos." I'm like, "I do too." And then once I drove it, it was over for me in terms of just I was like, she'll love it, I'll love it, and it's been great for us because again, we've since I've got that, it's opened up so much for me and her. We've done a lot more than we've ever done. We've been out to Utah and Colorado multiple times in it. I mean, it's barely a year old, and I've already got 25,000 miles on it. Uh, Running out there and just I think this last trip we did like 6,000 miles, we've hit all the Utah national parks. We went up and did the San Juans and all that. Ran through southern Colorado, just doing lots of great stuff. And saying again, just seeing that beautiful countryside, man, just the areas of the United States that I don't know, man, it just brings so much peace and calm and happiness to me. That's what I really love doing, man.
Yeah. So for you that or for you all that just go to work every day, work your tail off, you gotta have some
Release.
downtime, some
Yeah.
release. And I highly, highly suggest going to the national forest or going out into the woods. I don't know why it's so calming and relaxing to go out there. I don't know. I have no actual pinpoint reason why it works, but you can always kind of like find a center. Like
Right.
even if you go to a national forest and throw up a tent and just basic stuff, just sit down by a creek. Just sit, read a book. Just sit and
Or
listen to
just
nature.
sit. Just
Yeah.
sit. When we were leaving that event the other day, we were coming through, I believe we are just outside of Ponca, coming right off the Buffalo River. Beautiful, misty morning, and come around the corner, and there on the Buffalo out in this field, there's gotta be 30 elk staying out there. Big old buck or bull elk, just man, it just the prettiest thing. We literally just pulled over on the side of the road and just stood there for 10 minutes, just watching them graze in this field. We didn't say a word, we just it just but coming bringing it completely full circle, like I said, it's whether it's outdoors for you, whether it's, hiking, fishing, biking, running, gym, playing video games, cooking, whatever, finding that something that you can just let go, man. Find that calm, find that center, as you said, I think is really important to, de-stress yourself, man, to not have to carry it all around. You know, it's tough to do every weekend, but you got to find time for you. You got to find that thing that lets you do that and lets you just get it all off, man.
Yeah. And you don't have to go out. I don't care what the YouTubers say, me included. I try not to give bad advice. I do my best. You don't Why'd you bump your eyebrows? Wow. Wow. Man, man, it'd
Yeah.
be your own people. It'd be
It'd
your
be your
own
own,
people. But I try, even though his forehead said something different, try not to give bad advice on it. You don't have to have crazy amount of gear to go out there and relax and have a good time.
no, absolutely not.
Uh, you really don't. And I jumped on that bandwagon. I didn't try to promote it on my channel, but I did jump on that bandwagon buying latest and greatest stuff and stuff that I didn't need. And ultimately you need a place, you need shelter, you need food and water, and the desire to want to just relax. That's
Absolutely.
all you gotta and away there. And there's like in the Washita's up there, what is that? Little Missouri Falls area,
Yep.
a Subaru
Yeah, it's more
Forester.
Ozarks, but yeah, yeah.
Little
That's in the
Missouri.
Ozarks.
That's
Yeah, it's the
Washita's.
Ozarks.
That's
Yeah, it's in the
Washita.
Ozarks.
Oh,
Yeah,
look it up. Look it up while I'm talking.
okay.
Little Missouri Falls is Washita's. Come on. We're waiting.
Yeah,
No, but a Subaru Forester can make it down all those forest roads.
100%. Well,
Easy.
that's it. How many? Because well, okay, it's in the Washington Nest Forest. But
I'm
anyway,
sorry, I couldn't hear the people in the back.
yeah, yeah. The one here, yeah. Let me hear.
But I passed I don't know how many minivans out
That's what I
there.
was gonna say. How many times have you been out there doing what you think's pretty extreme or pretty overlandy? You're like, this is awesome, and you pass a Prius or a minivan or a Nissan
Yeah.
Altima or a
I would not suggest running trails in the Ozarks with anything less than a four-wheel drive high clearance vehicle. That's but the
I
Washita's
would want some good AT tires for the
for
so you're
sure.
not puncturing. I mean, because they're all
Yeah,
they're badly graded dirt roads a lot of times.
a lot of times. But the Washita's, that's well maintained. It's basically a dirt road where you turn off and you got a little campsite by a creek or by whatever. And you can just go
Beautiful.
there. It's free. It's all dispersed camping. You can just pull up and have whatever time you like, whether you want to stay up late listening to music or go to bed early, whatever, you can do it. But like he said, don't just camp. If that's not your thing, if you try it and you don't like it, don't do that. Find something, because circling back to the mental health, find something that works for you to take stress off your life. Uh, you can work 9 to 5 your whole life, have millions of dollars in the bank, but when you die, you can't take it with you. So enjoy life while you're here.
Absolutely.
Uh,
It's
I've
short.
Yeah, very short. I woke up yesterday and I was 42. I went to sleep the night before. I was in my 20s. I don't know what happened, but it is super short. But I mean, You never see a hearse pulling a trailer, so you can't take it with you, man.
Absolutely. Find and just find happiness, man. It's short. Find the thing that makes you happy. Find the people that make you happy. Try to let go of all the hate and the negativity, and just
And
you know,
you'll know whether you want to admit it to yourself or others, you'll know when you're at that point because you're constantly mad, you're constantly aggravated. The smallest thing sets you off. And you just that's when you gotta like, okay, I gotta find something to get some of this stress or whatever off of you and go relax. Whether it's sitting in front of a computer, like you said, playing video games.
or,
Or
or
I mean, I
bullshitting with your
game.
buddy.
I'm yeah, me and him set for what? This is day 3, just sitting on this program talking, just BSing. But yeah, call up a buddy, have a back of a back what a guy's night. For lack of a better term, a guy's night. I know the
Yeah,
ladies have
I
a
do that
ladies' night.
once a month. I host
Yeah,
one once a month at my house.
yeah.
Yeah,
See, there's nothing wrong with having a guy's night. Just sitting around, smoking cigars, having a drink, relaxing, talking, poking fun at each other. I mean, that's how we work.
absolutely.
Me and him make fun of each other all the time.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, easy target if you drive a Ford.
Yeah, well, there you
Or a non-dependable Jeep. It's however you want to
go.
spin that. But yeah, I mean, you got to find something, and if you can do it with your friends, do it with your friends. And if not, if that's not your bag, go out and just whatever.
Good along. Just be happy, man.
What got me into it was after I retired from the government, I started hot shotting, did that for right at a year, if not under. And I doing that, I got to see the country. So when that fell through, when the economy went down and that fell through, I still wanted to see the country. I mean, I've spent my entire life in Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, in the non-pretty areas at that. I didn't know the Ozarks was that close to me my whole life. Nobody told me. I had no inkling into looking into it. And so going out to like Washington State, beautiful state. Oh my gosh. Northern California, beautiful up there. Oregon, gorgeous. And you can do all that kind of stuff in a minivan. Go see the country that you have grown up in. Uh, we've got people coming from overseas, from England and everything, to see our country. I mean, and they spend 30 days here on vacation to see the country that you live here. So take advantage of it, man. We're blessed. We've got every season you can imagine. We've got desert, we've got mountains, we've got plains, we've got the Everglades. Whatever you like, you can go see in our country. So anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah. You're
But
not wrong, man. Absolutely.
it's a beautiful country. Take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Well, I think that's about going to wrap it up for our first episode here. That's kind of a little bit about us and what we're into and what we like to do, and some of what you guys can expect to hear in our future episodes. Like we said, not all of them. This was, I don't know, this is a little more outdoorsy, a little off roady and all that. But some of them, a lot of them will be that way because that's what we enjoy. But a lot of the others, like I said, we'll delve with just about every subject you can imagine that worth talking about. And
Outside
some
of
that aren't.
politics, we might dabble, but yeah. Uh, no, I'm free to talk about whatever. I
Absolutely.
don't hold people's religions or politics against them. That is just a small niche to that whole person. That is just such a small speck
Absolutely.
to a whole person. So
Well, and you used to be able to discuss these things with people, you know what I mean? And again, how in anything you do, any aspect of life, there's no way to learn without like discussion and with like back and forth and opposing viewpoints.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
literally how you learn things. If not, then everybody's just indoctrinated in the same beliefs and things like that. You don't have to agree with it, but like you also don't have to have hatred because somebody doesn't have the same view or same thing as you do. Listen to it, absorb it, maybe learn from it, maybe and it maybe give your side of it so that they can maybe learn and expand as well.
Yeah, like you had said yesterday, if you go in a conversation like that with the goal to win, you're in the wrong conversation already.
Absolutely, brother. It's
You
not a conversation at that point, it's a competition.
Yep, absolutely,
Absolutely.
100%. So, that's something else that we're gonna try to do, and please, by all means, get in our comments, ask
Absolutely.
questions,
Yeah.
uh, critique. I don't care. I've
Give us
got thick skin.
ideas. Oh,
Ideas,
hey,
what you Yeah.
We're easy to critique.
You ain't gonna be any harder on me than we are to each other
On
for
each other,
sure.
absolutely.
I mean, my wife would be like, "What the heck? Are y'all friends? What are wrong with y'all?"
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely let us know what we're doing right. Let us
Yeah.
know what we're doing wrong. Give us ideas, thoughts, suggestions, any of it. Make sure to look him up, Dan at the Crayon Brotherhood. You can find him on YouTube,
Yep.
Instagram,
All the platforms.
probably Facebooks, all that good stuff. I'm Kris. I've got to get lost outdoors. I've got to get better at the social media stuff. I used to be sponsored on the hiking and all that good jazz. I don't know if I'm going that route this time, but we'll see. You'll learn all that about me later on. But we appreciate you guys giving us your time and watching us, and we hope to see you.
Yeah, guys, appreciate everything. Simplify and God bless.